about a year and a half ago when we first launched the 10-step turnaround program. A couple came in for step one. We call step one, determine your why. And when they came in, the wife, as a husband and wife, and the wife told me, hey, I don't have a lot of time today. I can't stay for the whole meeting. I've got to leave. I've got a lot of commitments with my kids. And I said, hey, that's fine. Stay as long as you want. Well, we started going through step one. And it was interesting because she told me she first needed to leave, I think like 2 hours into it, and she texted a few people and said, well, I'm going to get someone to pick up my kids. She stayed longer. She ended up staying the entire meeting because step one of the 10-step turnaround is really where the rubber meets the road. It's really one of the most interesting and most impactful steps of the turnaround journey. So let me just talk you through today what we talk about when people come in for step one. We start out with a very important question, and hopefully you know the answer to the question. And the question is this. Is the purpose of your life to support your business, or is the purpose of your business to support your life? Obviously, it should be the latter. Obviously, your business exists to support your life, not the other way around. But so many business owners don't function that way. It's like they wake up every morning and they think, I exist to support my business. So I'm going to go to work for the next 15 hours because I'm going to help my employees and help my customers and communicate with my vendors because that's kind of the purpose of my life, to keep this thing going. That's not the purpose of your life, to keep your business going. Many business owners forget why they're in business in the first place, which is why we call it the first step of the 10-step turnaround, determine your why. Figure out why you're in business. And let me tell you, you should be in business in order to create your ideal life. That should be one of the primary reasons you're in business. And I'm guessing way back in the beginning when you started your business, you probably had those thoughts in your mind. Hey, this business is going to lead to greener pastures. This business is going to lead to better places. But then what did it lead to? Stress, crazy work hours. It led to a life that you never thought you'd be living, and here you are. So we take a big step back with the 10-step turnaround. We start step one and we say, okay, why are you in business? And we ask the client, the first thing we do is we ask the client to come up with a blueprint for their ideal life. We basically say, hey, go to a dream world for a second here. If you could just live this perfect ideal life, what would it look like? Where would you be traveling? What would you accomplish? Who would you be helping? What experiences would you be having? Write them down, make them fun, make them expensive, spend some money on paper. But we actually have a written plan for an ideal life. It's kind of like a bucket list, but it's a little more structured. And it's amazing how many business owners don't have that written down. In their mind, they think of themselves living in a larger house and traveling the world, but they don't actually have a plan written down for what that ideal life looks like. After we do that, we guide the business owner through a process to determine what is their ideal business that will support that life. Notice how I started with the life and then went to the business. So think about that for a second. What would your ideal business look like? How many hours a week would you be working? How many weeks off would you take every year? I've had some people tell me, I want to take 6 months off and work 6 months. Wouldn't that be ideal? What would be your ideal income? $500,000, million, 2 million, even more? What about your team size? How many team members do you want? How many locations do you want? What products and services do you want to offer? What kind of work would you personally be doing? What are you passionate about? What lights you up? And focus on that in your ideal business. Next, after we come up with a blueprint for their ideal life and a business that supports that ideal life, we ask the business owner the question, okay, where are you today? And we make sure they understand their numbers, including how much money they're making, what is their personal net worth, and what is the valuation of their business. A business valuation is included as part of step one of the 10-step turnaround program because many business owners, I would say well over 90%, have no idea how much their business is worth, even though their business might be their largest asset. If you own a business, your largest asset is probably not your home anymore. It's probably your business. It will probably sell for more than your home, but many business owners don't even know that number. So where are you today? Where are your numbers today? And after the business owner understands that, we go through a process for determining where they need to be, where they want to be 5 years from now or 10 years from now. We set up some clearly defined long-term goals, including a profit goal. How much money do you want to make 5 years from now? While working how many hours a week? A wealth goal. How much do you want your net worth to be, say 10 years from now? An exit goal. How much do you want to sell your business for ideally, say 10, 12, 15 years from now? Or do you want to grow your business to the point where you're no longer working in your business? You're just an investor in your business. You're cashing checks from your business, but you're no longer an employee of your business. That's another way to exit. We call that an investor exit. And finally, what impact do you want your business to have long term? If you're a dental office, maybe you want to help 100,000 people have cleaner, whiter, healthier teeth. If you're an orthodontist, maybe you want to help 10,000 children have a smile that they're proud of. What is the impact of your business in your community that goes beyond just dollars and cents in your pocket? After we help business owners set those 4 long-term goals, we make sure they have time scheduled every week in their calendar to work towards those goals. If you don't block that time out, if you don't schedule it in your calendar, you're just going to be firefighting every day. You're just going to be helping a team member or a customer with one emergency after another. You need to actually be intentional with your calendar to block off times to work on the business rather than just in. In fact, during step 1, we have our business owner clients commit to working at least 10% of their work hours every week working on the business and not in it. So that's basically a quick overview of step 1. It normally takes about 2 to 3 hours depending on the client. We guide you through the entire process. You could do a lot of this on your own, but it helps a lot to have a coach guide you through that journey and help you to create an ideal business that can support your ideal life.